I don't know, like a year and a half or so before Hurricane Harvey, um, my mom comes over and drops off two fish and four fucking turtles. Or three turtles. Four turtles. I don't fucking know. There's a lot of turtles. I didn't know shit about turtles at this time, except they are perpetual teenagers with a penchant for pizza. So that means I didn't know a goddamn thing about turtles unless they were a fucking cartoon. She threw her hands up, I can't deal with this, and left. Okie dokie. I don't know shit about turtles, so I go to my beloved internet. Okay. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know shit about turtles. And it's one of those topics you surprisingly don't find a lot of websites with people pretending to know every fucking thing under the sun about turtles. You know, I mean, it was really, really tough to find. I mean, I had to find old forums where people were just like posting blocks of paragraphs about their fucking love of turtles, and you know, they fucking studied them in college, and this is like, anyway, what I learned, most importantly, the first thing I fucking learned is people suck, okay? Turtles, God, they're probably up there with rabbits for things that people decide to have as pets, and then they abandon them. Unfortunately, people think that they can abandon turtles into the wild, and they'll just turtle it up and they'll survive. And that's not really true, and it fucks up the ecosystem, and it's just really fucked up and really irresponsible to set a turtle that you've domesticated or that has never been wild into the wild. It fucks up their little world, their little peers' little world, and all the little... It just fucks everything up, man. It's like, you know, traveling in the future and stepping on a butterfly, or whatever, you know, one of those. You just can't do that shit. People don't give a fuck, they do it anyway. So the first thing I knew I wasn't gonna do was just go like set these turtles free in the wild. Oh God. Plus I had these two fish because my mom didn't want to deal with them. Okay, when my mom brought me these fish, they were in like this much water. The water was disgusting. It was the Chinese fighting fish, otherwise known as betta or beta. Whatever. Okay, I learned a little bit about them too. First of all, people think they can put those little fish in a cute little bowl and they're just so low maintenance. They think that because like they originated in the little rice paddies or whatever, just little, but actually those fish are not happy in a little bowl at all. And they do need filtration, and they can't just be in any old temperature water, right? I learned a lot about these fish. I learned a lot about turtles. And it was overwhelming, okay? Because these fish, they were dying. I don't remember what I diagnosed them as having, not ick, but fin rot or some shit. One of them had fin rot for sure, and the other one. So I get on Amazon and I order fucking every kind of little medicine for these fish. And I get heating pads. I make like a little fish hospital. You have to have like warm water and all this shit. You gotta keep changing the water out. You have to do it really carefully so you don't shock them. Oh my God. One of the fish died within days. And I was upset. I was upset because I felt like this fish was suffering, and I couldn't put it out of its misery, right? Ugh. I had read that you could just like slam it really hard into the cement and it's instant death, no pain, but I wasn't confident in my strength to be able to do that. Some people said it was okay to freeze them, but I don't think that sounds painless. If they don't like super cold water, the journey to death via that means sounds horrible, right? So I could take a sharp knife and like, psh, really quick. I'm so shaky. I tried to do that for a lizard that my cat tortured a couple of years ago, and that was traumatic for probably all involved. Anyway, my point of my mom's a selfish asshole. Okay, she didn't feel I can't deal with this. She said, threw her hands and left. Okay, well, I learned these were big ass turtles, big old turtles. So my then boyfriend goes and he gets little swimming pools, those little plastic pools for me. Now, those little pools, the turtle claws, because the turtles would go to the edge of it and just scrape, 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 scrape. And I read for like a turtle that size, they need like, oh my God, they just need a big fucking tank, okay? And I had 3 of them, at least 3, right? At least 3. One of them had a name, Keebler. My mom had had that turtle the longest. Ugh. So the other turtles kind of paired together. They showed up at the same time. And I fucking, okay. They were big ass turtles and they needed a lot of space. And you could only find the little swimming pools that were this big, you know? So I made a turtle bridge out of, like empty ice things, you know? I made like a turtle bridge with a thing so they wouldn't fall off the side. Because that's the number one cause of turtle death is they try to escape and they fall and they hurt themselves. Anyway, it was hell, okay? Because their little claws would scrape on the side of that pool and I'm like, oh my God, they're just desperate to get out. They're miserable. And it would just echo. Just scrape, 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 scrape. And I would cry and cry and cry. And my then boyfriend was like, oh my God, what can I do to help? I mean, he really did want to help. So I would get big old bins and you just couldn't find a big enough, you know? And I would double them up and I would make bridges and it was just fucking, it was so fucked, you know? One of the fish, because I put it in an appropriate sized tank, it was like a 10 gallon, you know, the square, the rectangle. And it had filtration and had decorations and stuff. They get a little bored. People are just assholes and they don't give a fuck, you know? I was trying to not be an asshole and didn't give a fuck, but I was furious with my mother. My mom didn't have a presence in my life at the time. How dare that bitch just show up and drop off these creatures, knowing how I am. And that's the thing, she knew how I was, so in her mind, she wasn't just setting them free out into the wild, you know? She was giving them to somebody that would try, I guess. Maybe that's her logic. It was fucked up though. And I couldn't handle all those turtles. I just couldn't do it. I told her I'll keep the one fish that made it, and I'll keep Keebler. Right? Well, she comes for the most recent turtles. She comes for them and exchanges them. She leaves me this little bitty turtle and takes like 2 or 3 of them. I can't remember. I'm terrible. And this little guy, she got him at work. She worked at a shipyard and there was a shipment for turtle soup. And this little shell fell out of the shipment and she picked it up, but then she found out, she realized that it wasn't just a shell, you know, the turtle was still in there, and she thought she saw it move and she stared at it, but it didn't move again. So she put it in a bowl with a little bit of water and it was like real small. And she kind of like tickled its foot and tickled its foot and tickled its foot and brought it back to life. Zombie turtle. I could handle zombie turtle. It was a little guy. Well, zombie turtle grew exponentially fast, but I was very attached to zombie turtle. We named zombie turtle Lunk. We didn't know if it was a boy or a girl. It ended up being a girl. My mom ended up coming back for Keebler, right? And we kept Lunk, and Lunk was the size of Keebler by the time the hurricane came. And I actually wasn't worried about Lunk. I thought Lunk would be fine. I mean, the water got so much higher than I ever thought, you know? So when we went upstairs, I really didn't give a shit. I thought the turtle was fine, you know? Dumpling, fuck off. Go through the window, baby. That fucking cat. Anyway, it was my ex-boyfriend who went downstairs, and, you know, he brought Lunk upstairs. So, and then, yeah, Lunk would have been swimming in a giant, I mean, Lunk might have had a great time, but you just don't know what's in the water. You don't know what kind of fucking chemicals are gonna get mixed in. Somebody spilled a bunch of gas on the first day that we flooded, and we had to close our windows, and it was fucking hell because it was so hot. But anyway, so we're upstairs with all the cats and our turtle. When we got rescued, we were rescued with 7 cats and our turtle. But my mom's an asshole is the whole point of that, right? I'm gonna go rescue fucking Dumpling. Hold on.